Salutations, denizens of the internet. I'm Firebite27, and today we have a bit of a live stream video for you all. And I'll be unboxing some Transformers from Age of the Primes. Let me just get a real quick... There we go. As you can see here, today we've got Alpha Trion and Onyx Prime, both of which we'll be unboxing shortly. However, first, if you'll give me a moment to just to show off what I've been doing lately, I've actually been 3D printing something pretty cool. Let me just do something real quick. That's correct. I have been 3D printing out the core medals from Kamen Rider OOOs recently. As you can see here, we've got Kuwagata, Taka, Kamakiri, Kujaku, Bata, and Condor. So yeah, I'm going to be 3D printing my way to an entire set of Kamen Rider OOO's core medals, including some of the extra forms that never made it into the show or movies. But of course, I will be doing all the ones from the show first, provided I can actually get the blue plastic for Shota and some of the pink for Picasso. But anyways, back to the event at hand. I just wanted to show these off real quick because, like, I was lucky enough to find these on Thingiverse, and it's Kamen Rider. I've said it before. I might have said it before, but Kamen Rider OOOs was the first season of Kamen Rider that I ever tried to watch in full. So it really doesn't matter a lot to me. Hence why I wanted to make the core medals from it. But anyways, let's get back to the actual focus, which is going to be the Age of the Primes figures. And real quick, before we go into the Age of the Primes figures, I did get the GoBots that were released last year. We've got Treads, Pathfinder, and Smallfoot all here right now. And honestly, these figures are a lot of fun. I really like them. And maybe I'll talk about them soon, someday. Who knows, really? But anyways, on to the figures at hand. And originally this stream was going to also include Armada Rhinox. However, according to the USPS app, that thing's not going to arrive until tomorrow. So, boo-hoo, guess we'll have to make do with just these two. Okay, then we'll start off with the smaller of the two, Alpha Trion. Just... So, I hope everyone's doing well. Doubt many people are watching right now. It is a Thursday, and that is a bit of a weird time to host one of these live stream events. But as we can see here, this is Alpha Trion, including his cape shield thing. Right here, this cape shield thing, and the Covenant of Primus, which he wrote. And real quick, I just want to show a pretty funny detail from it. Let's just open it up to the correct page. If anyone has seen Beast Wars, then you may remember that at some point the characters used a version of the Covenant of Primus that had a tape recorder in it, and like a cassette telling everyone the story of how the Transformers. It basically had like a kids version that it played as like an audio track. And if you notice here in the book, they actually molded that in. It's like a little detail here. Isn't that so cool? But yeah, there's two pages in here. I don't know what this says in Cybertronian. I'm just gonna assume it says Jukumu Jukumu Goku no Suiken Unaramatsu Faramatsu the Bipo Bipo Shooting no Gurin Dai no Pompopuki Pompo no Joki Man no Shosuke. Like and subscribe if you got what that joke was. But anyways, we shall move on to the figure itself. Wow, that is a lot of tissue paper for what amounts to just a feather slash dagger. Ooh, that's good. They gave him a bit of the oonce action that I loved on Kingdom Cyclonus. Okay, then. Let's see here. That's even nice. They actually give you the option to give him his iconic shoulder pads. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's just, he doesn't look right without them. And it's very much the same story for. Let me just cut my nails recently, so this is gonna be a pain in the butt. I tell you. I tell you what. Okay, then. So let's see here. Ooh, elbows go really deep. I quite like that. The hands open. No swivels. That's disappointing. Thighs rotate. That's pretty good. Ooh, heel spurs. That's also pretty good. Oh, by the way, if you hear any sound coming from behind me and see that moving right there, that's because I'm printing out my third set of core metals. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Maybe if we're lucky, they'll be 3D printed by the time before the stream is done. Who knows? There we go. Oh, what did you pop off of? What? I am. Ooh, this is cool. Look, Alpha Trion has an ab crunch. Oh, that's so satisfying. That definitely makes up for the fact that he doesn't have a wrist swivel. At least it does to me. You feel free to disagree with me on that one, but he has redeemed the lack of a wrist swivel, in my opinion. Ooh. You know, I've got some other Alpha Trion figures at home, so what I might do is do like a versus review between all three of them so we can see which one's the best. But I do love how I can give him like a little hunchback, like, oh, I need to write this stuff. It's totally not my fan fiction for Primus X Unicronus. Or some stuff like that. It'd be totally silly. No, I will not be writing a smut fix about the Quintessons. Monkey. For the last time, you may not use the Covenant of Primus to create hentai. I don't know what I'm doing anymore at this point, and I love it. Still, I need to know where this cap goes. Maybe the instructions will tell me. Whoa, there's supposed to be two of them. And they're supposed to go into his shoulders. Ah, there's the other one. There we go. And bam, he's been pegged. Really does complete the his silhouette, doesn't it? His little spikes here. Anyways, why don't I transform him for you real quick? I'm going in completely blind, so prepare for something horrible to happen. Hello there. Hello there. Oh my god. Glitchmart, you propose a hilarious situation. None of Onyx Prime's descendants started out as having robot modes until Amalgamus started shoving T-Cogs into the furries. That'd be like the kind of thing that you'd see on a Robot Chicken sketch. Anyways. Oh, I should probably remove that now. Though it is pretty hilarious to think about, since like did Alpha Trion come after Onyx Prime? Because a lot of the times he's depicted as having a beast mode. Food for thought, that's all I'm saying. Where in the heck are these tabs supposed to go now? Okay, so how did this... Oh, I see. First, I need to rotate... Remember, do not emulate me at home. Read the instructions first. Because otherwise you end up with stuff like this. I'm just in clown mode 24/7, and it's a wonder that I've even gotten to this point in my YouTube career. Anyways... Okay, so outside of my unsanctionable buffoonery, I gotta say, and maybe parts forming. Okay, apart from the parts forming and my unsanctioned buffoonery, this transformation actually pretty slick, and I quite like the alt mode, even though it was blatantly stolen from Iron Factory. At least I'm pretty sure it was blatantly stolen from Iron Factory. Lord knows that they have far more originality and more original ideas than Hasbro's willing to shell out within the past 5 years. Actually, no, make that past 2 decades. Armada, Energon, and Cybertron Optimus Prime are both G1 Optimuses. Fight me on that. Anyways, back to now that I've taken a look at Alpha Trion, I say let's turn our attention now to Onyx Prime, Prime of the Animals, Master of the Furries, the one who has like who originated as the super confusing BotCon exclusive Onyx Primal. Damn. That is freaking impressive, let me tell you. In person, it might not look like much on the screen. In fact, like, it looks a little boring and plain on the screen right now, I know. But in person, this thing is freaking impressive. And like it's one of those toys that makes me think that people are crazy when they say that brown is a color that does not sell, because it can sell. It's just frequently not used properly. Like some of the original Bionicle figures, those had way too much brown in them. But some of my favorites. Oh no! Some of my favorite Bionicle characters are the ones. Hello there, Genesis. I hope you're doing well. Anyways, now that I've gotten this box taken care of, what do you say we look at the beasts? Okay, so Onyx Prime, I mean. Okay, let's see here. What's some of his... Ooh! That gets a pretty good bend. Fingers, once again, pretty cool. There we go. Folded away the backpack, all hunky-dory. Ooh, though, something about this isn't... Ooh. I think I'm going to need either some glue or a screwdriver to fix this one. Apart from that, it looks fantastic. Let me tell you what. Also, to fight me on this, Onyx Primal is the ancestor of every single Bayformer Decepticon ever because of these legs. He has Bayformer Decepticon legs. Fight me on that alone. Okay, he's entered squinty mode. I don't like squinty mode. That's... Dang, his head is hard to get out. Oh, that's the secret to it. I thought it was something you pulled up, but nope. Ugh. I prefer that hat. I wish that had a locking mechanism at some point. I'm afraid that I don't watch or pay attention that much, like gaming events. Sadly, I'm sure it was good. It's just I don't really care, unfortunately. I know it sounds very rude, especially to people who enjoy that stuff, but it's not for everyone. Ooh, that's something creepy. Look here, guys. The legs on Onyx Prime have veins on them like a horse. I am now going to start joking about an Uma Musume crossover figure that uses Onyx Prime as a basis. That would be funny. Haru Urahara Special Weekamus Prime. Spechan Prime. That would be hilarious. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, consider yourself lucky. This past week, I got indoctrinated into the anime horse girl cult. Not that I mind, of course. A little known fact about me, I actually used to ride horseback, which means that I have an embarrassing degree of attachment to those little animals. Oh my god. I've made him shorter now. This is gonna sound really dumb, but when I played D&D in high school, we had a gnome in one of our parties named Stumpy Timbers. This is now Onyx Prime Stumpy Timbers edition. He was trying to form the Gnome World Order. I am not making this up. And to anyone who remembers the Gnome World Order, I am sorry for reminding you. It only lasted about 2 or 3 sessions until our DM killed him off for derailing the campaign. These days I don't get to D&D as much as I used to, but I still hold those memories in high regard. Granted, I don't feel like I need to play as much these days, since I don't have the same manic amount of ADHD behavior that I used to. I am withholding my judgment, because if he's directing the G.I. Joe crossover, that could turn out good. Because Michael Bay's whole style would be more conducive to making a good G.I. Joe movie, not a good Transformers movie. But with G.I. Joe in the mix, it might have a better chance. However, I am pressing a big old X to doubt on this whole situation with Michael Bay returning, because he has proven multiple times that he does not get what makes Transformers important to all of us, and therefore makes us enjoy Transformers. It's I don't want to I don't know the guy. I've known people who have worked with the guy thanks to living in Chicago and being obsessed with film and working and having been at several film summer camps. I do know people who have worked for Bay and they have not said the best things about him, but I make it a policy to not judge people and based on the quality of their work, or I don't know. Just feels too soon to say whether or not it's a bad thing. Though I will say, the person who we should really be fearing right now is Lorenzo Di Bonaventura. That guy he's literally the reason why everything has gone wrong to this point. He kept Bay on the projects. He basically, his executive meddling might have basically caused the mediocrity of Rise of the Beasts. And it wouldn't surprise me if he had a hand in the marketing of TF1 and causing that movie to flop. Honestly, when it comes to this, Lorenzo is the real villain here. I think we can all agree, at least. Though, honestly, if you had told me sooner that Bay was coming back to the Transformers franchise, I would not have believed you. Because, quite frankly, it seems like such a stupid decision. Bring back the guy who made the movies that sold the least, that caused the downfall of the franchise cinematically. That makes total sense. Well, you see here, he's not the Kathleen Kennedy of Hasbro. He's the Kathleen Kennedy of Paramount. Although, quite frankly, I think that Lorenzo Di Bonaventura is worse than Kathleen Kennedy. Because, she might have messed up bad, but at least her gaffes were all well-intentioned for the most part. She didn't, I don't think she actively hated the fandom. Please don't correct me on that. I hate Star Wars, and honestly, if you try and bring in the aspects of behind the scenes stuff, I will not be interested. So don't correct me on this, but I honestly think that he is worse than Kathleen Kennedy. Anyways, I am going to transform him now into his centaur mode. Yeah, I can actually see that working out pretty well. I mean, James Gunn did pretty good with Superman, from what I heard, and honestly, from what I understand, that's the story of that movie is right up my alley. It's about someone. It's about doing the right thing, even if the world, and especially the political world, tells you, "No, you can't do that," because I did. I'd say it wouldn't be too far to say that I am in many ways an altruist. I believe in doing what is right, even when that thing isn't the politically correct thing to do according to those around me. Because I have lived a very fortunate life. I have been blessed to live in a middle class American family, surrounded by relative comfort and access to things like clean food and water. And the idea that anyone could be denied any of that just because of some political disagreements between some countries and their religious or political leaders, that's criminal to me. Much as this immediately leads me to get blacklisted from Hollywood before I've even been given a chance to enter. And that is very much a message that the Superman movie touts loudly and proudly. Anyways, here is the the long-awaited Centaur mode. Honestly, this looks a bit stubbier than I was expecting it to be. Anyways, let's move on to the next form. But yeah, I would love to watch a Transformers movie as directed by James Gunn. However, here's where the point where I am not losing hope on Transformers. Apparently, while there aren't any plans to make a sequel to TF1, there are allegedly plans for its director Josh Cooley to continue on with making a different Transformers project. I don't know if this means he'll head up a new Transformers TV show or if he'll do another live action movie in the same vein as Stephen Capel Jr., whatever his name was. But whatever it is, Josh gets Transformers, and he's the kind of guy that we need running the show, calling the shots, you know? Okay, guys, let me ask you a question. Am I tripping here? Or is this basically Prime Predaking? Is that not what this head is? It's literally I can't see a I can't not see a future where the retool for this figure is Prime Predaking. And I was secretly always hoping that that would be the case because like um what else would be even remotely appropriate for the Prime of the Beast to be retooled into except Predaking? I almost certainly have one step of this transformation wrong. Ooh, a Transformers show based off of Skybound. I'd be ready for that. As long as it's not Bay directing it. If it's Cooley in charge of that project, then I have all faith in it. Since I imagine that he is very much a fan of the Skybound comics, as are many of us. I haven't been able to read that series just because, well, I funneled my money into both my 3D printing and my collecting, so at least the stuff that doesn't go into paying rent and my food and so forth. Let's see here. Ooh, a Skybound adaptation in the same vein as the Invincible series, is it? Well, I'm open to it since from what I've heard and what I've seen on YouTube clips, specifically YouTube Shorts. Which, by the way, can I just quickly just talk about something real quick because it's kind of concerning to me. YouTube, what the hell are you doing about all the piracy on the YouTube Shorts feed? Like, if it were a few every now and then, I'd get it, but like, there's a ton of Family Guy clips and a ton of Rick and Morty clips that just show up on there and just like, it's piracy. Why aren't you stopping this? Just because the money you're making off of them is more than the amount you're going to need to pay in order to cover the lawsuits? But anyways, as I was saying, from what I've seen in those pirated clips, the show actually looks pretty good, and I'd be open to a Transformers show done in a similar style, right down to the anime art style used. Because let's not be coy, Invincible's art style is somewhat anime-esque, and that I think is a big part of why people have fallen in love with it. Is just because like it's an anime the with a more Western style of storytelling, and I think to a lot of people that's very appealing. But yeah, I am more than 1,000% in on Onyx Prime here. Between the two, I think he's probably my favorite. Though he is probably also the one I'm gonna have to do the most modification to, just so I can like fix him. Um, Considering that Skybound were also the people who created Invincible, I am not surprised that that's the model they're gonna follow with the show. But yeah, oh man, I love this figure. Oopsies, that fell out. Well, if any of you have any other questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Or if I feel like they'd be better suited to like my Q&A video, that's definitely going to happen once I hit 700 subscribers. Or I mean 800 subscribers. I've already passed 700. Damn it. Then feel free to leave them in that section. I'm a bit disappointed that these guys arrived before Micronus, and especially the third deluxe Insecticon showed up, because those were the ones I was looking forward to the most out of this wave. But who knows? Maybe when they arrive, they'll be worth the wait, or it'd be a major disappointment. I'm hoping for the former, though. Let's see here. Alpha Trion returning to robot mode. Also, I'm gonna make this a talking point in a YouTube short, I think. So, first off, I should probably ask: did you guys like the YouTube short I did recently, where I talked about how doing your mom originates from a quote of William Shakespeare? Because if you did, then that's really gonna make me feel good about like treating YouTube shorts as a place where I can test the waters for more variety content. You know, because like that's the big thing I've been thinking about recently. Is just I don't want to limit myself to Transformers toys reviews anymore. I want to do other stuff too. I want to do a variety of things. Shakespeare originating the phrase "doing your mom" was sort of my testing the waters, and it paid off big time. Let me tell you, a lot of people really like that video. It became my most watched view by the end of the week. Became one of my most it like beat out all of my other YouTube shorts for the ones that people have like watched the most, like within the first week of its release. So I'd really like to hear if you'd like me to do more variety shorts like that. Like there's a big topic that I want to talk about what I wouldn't be able to do a full review on, and that is how weirdly absent figure stand ports have been in the past few waves. It's like there are only a few of them. Like the only ones I can think of that have them still are Solus Prime and well, Prime out here doesn't have them. Megatronus Prime doesn't have them. Ah, there we go. Uh, anyways. Let's see here. Anyways, Well, if no one else has anything else to say, I think I'm going to end the stream here. As always, thank you for watching, and with that being said, this is Firebite27, over and out.